My name is Olivier Bucheli. I'm founder of HT Ceramics that today is part of SOLIDpower Group. It's a company producing fuel cells for multiple applications, or to be more precise, we produce membrane reactors, one of which application is a fuel cell, but we also have electrolyzers and other membrane reactor devices that transform chemical energy into electricity or electricity in a form of chemicals. Data centers are using mainly the part of the electricity to generate value. Fuel cells can generate that very, very close to the end user of the point of value generation, which is the server, by having a modularity. Servers are modular, fuel cells are modular. They fit well together. Fuel cells and servers both are modular, so they fit well together. You can have one server and one fuel cell next to each other, and you distribute in this kind of infrastructure the gas. Gas has a much higher power density than electrons. If you imagine a 400 kilovolt pylon, you have a tube like that of gas which has the same power density. Translate that into a data center and you see how much copper you can remove by simply distributing the gas very close to where it is consumed, transformed into electricity to feed the server. That's the main driver why fuel cell can really match the data center's needs by reducing that, and also in the case of solid oxide fuel cells offering a high added value heat for cogeneration, which is our origins, our roots. Our roots is from the micro CHP, micro combined heat and power sector, where we have more than 1,000 installations and buildings offering electricity, reliable electricity and heat to individual customers. CHP basically, you can transport easily electricity. You cannot transport heat. Heat transport is too expensive. So you need to produce the heat where it's close to the customer. And the modularity again allows us to do this at a very small scale, close to the customer that is consuming the end heat. That's the availability of that. So our fuel cells in normal configuration are in CHP mode, while they can also operate in a pure power generating mode as well. Of course, it means that we only have then a 60% electrical efficiency while we throw away the heat, but in a data center application it can make sense as such, depending on the configuration. I'm now about 20 years in the business and we have been approached by many people of having a look at their specific individual application. Historically, the data center within SOLIDpower has been triggered by Microsoft that did a large-scale evaluation with more than 100 companies and coming then at the end to us and saying, your technology fits our needs. Now, entering into the data center world, we see that we don't necessarily need the 100 megawatt data center plants to be fueled with, powered with fuel cells, but we can go much closer to the customer, to the end user. So if the edge is eating up the cloud, the small modules are really suitable. Again, we need to play on modularity, that it's really matching the needs of the servers. We need to have lower cost, meaning a mass manufactured appliance to match with the requirements for availability, and also the compactness. So going into the modules, we also can simplify the maintenance aspects. People know how the modules look, what needs to be done on that units, and also going to the edge. Compared to gas engines, there is no NOx generated. We do not have toxic emissions around the fuel cell when producing electricity. So it is suitable to power this in the cities like London, like Amsterdam, where the local emissions have a significant impact on people's health. The fuel cell can help on that side, to help on the efficiency side, so also including the CO2 reductions. Data center powered by fuel cells, you have a redundancy available because you have many modules. You let operate 12 modules at approximately 80% of their nominal operating point. Yeah. This has a very nice side effect. They even operate at a higher efficiency. Fuel cells are unlike engines. They're more efficient at part load than at full load. That's something which is unusual for people that are familiar with combustion technology. But we are moving out of combustion into the world of electrochemical conversion. So we can have some topping up with batteries, just for a small modulation if required. But basically, the fuel cell operate in a continuous, very suitable mode and have do that. Also very nice lifetimes. Now we speak about 5 years lifetime for a single stack, then you can refurbish that. Else, maintenance costs are simple. You have hardly moving parts. Besides the blowers, as you know, you're very familiar in data center with blowers, but besides that, there is no moving parts, you have no lubrication required. You change the water cartridges from time to time, but that's basically it in terms of maintenance. Silent, no noise, no NOx, it's just you produce the data. The main question, and this is the true challenge for solid power and the fuel cells in general in the data center, is the cost point. We know that our technology is cost competitive at a certain scale, and that scale is not so far away. But we still need to reach that scale now. So starting from a bit more than 10 megawatt, it starts to be competitive, while for time being our 2 manufacturing plants are only adding up to 4 megawatt. So this is our next step, and it's not only us doing it, but it's the whole supply chain. And so there are many opportunities also for data center providers, the infrastructure providers, integrating fuel cells in a smart manner into an environment that makes it industrial. While we today are a little bit too much exposed to the end application, while our real core technology, the fuel cell membrane reactor, is our strongest point. And we do a lot of things because people do not yet know that fuel cell can all do that. But having partners that today integrate, for example, gas engines in a smart manner in a fuel cell, in a data center application, it will help a lot. It will help a lot them to generate revenue and additional value in terms of understanding the market's need on the data center side, where we have just taken some grasp, while we can focus on the very specifics of the conversion of chemical energy into electricity at the customer's need.